G'day guys, it's Daniel from Clever Curious, and today I'm going to take you through everything you need for isolated arm training, meaning we're going to be talking about the biceps, triceps, and the forearms. Alright, starting with the triceps, we are going to do an exercise where we extend the elbow. And then for the biceps, we are going to do an exercise that flexes the elbow. And that's it for this week. Thanks for watching. No, I'm just kidding. Kinda. It is true that the function of our biceps is as simple as flexing the elbow, and the function of our triceps is extending the elbow. But let's go over the common variations of the exercises that train these functions. Starting with the standard cable tricep pushdown. Your triceps extend the elbow regardless of the type of grip you choose to take. So whichever cable attachment you wish to choose, the first thing you need to ensure is that you keep the elbow as still as possible during the extension. If our elbows travel up and down during the movement, it means our shoulder is flexing and extending, meaning our back is playing a role in the movement. Ensure that elbow stays still and tucked, and simply lock the elbow out as you push the cable down.
Cable push down, it's important we're in a stable position, so I take a slight knee bend and a slight lean forward to counteract the weight moving back up, so we can stay nice and still during the movement and focus purely on arm path. If you don't have access to cables, or you would prefer a free weighted tricep extension exercise, I would recommend a dumbbell skull crusher. Some people prefer a fully flat bench while doing a dumbbell skull crusher, but I prefer a slight incline bench, as this helps me keep my shoulders still during the movement, meaning I can once again focus purely on the activation from the triceps. Lean all the way back into my bench, keep my elbows up high and a still position, and flex the forearms back into the biceps to get as best as possible flexion into the triceps. Then once again simply extend the elbow joint, this time upwards. Now let's look at the biceps. The key difference between biceps and triceps is that hand position actually does make a difference. The key to training biceps is supination of the wrists, which in other words is the palms facing upwards. This is because the other function of the biceps outside of elbow flexion is supination of the forearms. So whilst it is as simple as just bending at the elbow, to better bias the biceps, the palms need to be facing upwards. Other grips can train other functions in the arms, but more on that later.
So for the form of any standard bicep curl, start with a palms up grip on your attachment of choice and keep the elbows still in the same way that we did for the triceps exercise, but instead simply bend the elbow on its natural path. The elbow should not be swinging up and down, but instead just bending. Try to keep your wrists firm and braced during the movement, as well as to not curl from the wrist and bring in any unnecessary forearm activation. This form should be the same regardless of if you're doing a cable curl as shown in this example, a dumbbell curl, or any machine curl. A machine preacher curl or dumbbell preacher curl uses a bench to support the elbows, so if stability is an issue in your regular curls, this can be a great fix. And lastly, the forearms and the brachialis muscle, which is a muscle that sits beneath the biceps, benefit from a neutral grip rather than the supinated grip for the biceps, meaning a hammer curl with the knuckles on the outside can be a good exercise to include for the arms too. And those are all the movements you'll need for effective arm training. If you have any other questions or wish to know more about coaching or nutrition plans, come and find me at Redcliffs or 15th Street Clever Queries.